Well, today we're at Woodlawn Cemetery in Detroit, Michigan. One of the 3 or 4 main cemeteries in Detroit, where you'll find a lot of the historic grave sites of the early leaders, Motown entertainers, and prominent politicians. This particular one is Woodward Avenue, just south of 8 Mile on the northern border of Detroit. And it's famous, in a way, for its mausoleums. And here's one of the smaller ones right here. You can see, belonging to the Wiggins family, who I don't know who that is, but just a beautifully designed mausoleum for a final resting place. We're going to check out some of the other ones here too, and see if we can find a few famous people to show you their final resting places. A lot of the mausoleums here are kind of similar in size and shape, but some of them really stand out, and several were designed by prominent area architects dating back to the 1920s or longer ago. We've got a little line of mausoleums back here that all look kind of similar, but some of them are almost fantastic in their design and style and ornamentation. And I haven't seen any names here that I recognize yet, but oh, here's one ahead I do recognize. You will too, probably. This one right here, you can see the name on top. It is Hudson. Oh, it's just lovely with the flowers blooming and everything right now. That one, and there's even a little goose nesting out front. This is the Hudson family memorial, and that is the final resting place of J.L. Hudson, the founder of the Hudson's department store chain. At one time, one of the largest, or possibly I think the largest retail store in the world, or at least in the United States, the downtown Detroit Hudson store. We're going to stop at a couple others here that are also very famous and very representative of Detroit. Here we have the Grinnell Mausoleum from the Grinnell Music Company and Piano Fabricators. Right next to it, very famous, done in the Egyptian style that was popular back in the late 20s and the 30s, the Dodge family crypt. And yes, that's right, this is the family who developed and started the Dodge Motor Company. It's a very, very fascinating mausoleum with a very unique style to it. Even has the columns set into the side. It looks just like an ancient Egyptian temple. This one here is a similar style with a kind of an Art Deco twist to it, belonging to the Wilson family. Very, very elaborately carved reliefs into the marble on it, and a very fancy door, one of the fanciest doors I've seen here. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Look at that, isn't that amazing? The attention to detail on these mausoleums and private crypts is amazing. We're going to just show you one here. Well, I don't know who it is, but we'll try and find out for you before we post this. This one belongs to the Mills family. And look at the stunning columns here, the architecture, the beautiful bronze doors, and there's something else I want you to see here. It's an inside look. We'll look through the glass windows here, the bronze doors. And look at the stained glass window in there. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's just beautiful. And inside you can see the locations of the crypts in the wall. Melvin Mills was the mayor of Detroit for 2 years, but before that he had established himself as one of the leading earlier businessmen in the community. He began as a fur trader, but he also brought the cigar and tobacco business, the stove business, railroading, banking, and investment insurance businesses to a great degree of success here in Detroit. We're going to go check out this other one across the street here, because it looks quite fantastic too. And this has some really nice examples of architectural detailing. But oh, look what we found here right in the front of this mausoleum. A family of deer. They actually look a little undernourished and underfed, but Yeah, with springtime here, I recorded this in April. They'll be feasting on the bushes and the grass and getting back into shape in no time. But this particular mausoleum has a great deal of really fine architectural work to it. A stained glass window protected from the outside by a plexiglass overlay. You see some of the water damage starting on the side here, but it's not bad yet. But look at the work and cement work and steel work along the top. The cornices and the beadwork on the edges. I'm not familiar with all the architectural terms, but I know it's really pretty. It looks very, very well made. And I just love the architecture. This is not going to be our only trip down here to this cemetery. This was just a quick drive through. There's a lot of famous people here, including Aretha Franklin and Rosa Parks. And look at the details there. We'll be coming back to do some individual videos on the famous people who are buried in Woodlawn Cemetery for sure. We'll just randomly make our way toward the exit now and see if we see any other famous markers. George Stroh, from the founding family of the Stroh Brewing Company. And that is a very nice out. Ricolta is a common name here in Detroit in local politics. Frederick Robinson was an attorney with business interests in mining and lumbering. And he left this beautiful Paris-style monument for him and his family. A very rare kind of, or unusual kind of monument, at least in Detroit.